Kids can benefit greatly by engaging in sports from a young age. Now, unfortunately, as parents, we often face some difficult choices in helping them navigate their athletic journey. On the one hand, of course, we want them to develop new skills and new abilities so that they can excel and they can build their confidence as they're engaging in various sports. And yet, of course, on the other hand, we want them to have the opportunity to simply experience the joy that comes from playing different sports and participating in random athletic activities without necessarily worrying about maximizing their ability or pushing themselves to that next level in every single scenario. Now, fortunately, we don't have to navigate these kinds of challenges entirely on our own. Instead, we can gain from the experience of other parents and other experts and factor in their advice when it comes to making choices with our children. So today, we're going to explore the 7 best books for parents raising kids to become athletes, beginning with Mindset: The New Psychology of Success by Carol S. Dweck. Kids often set artificial limitations on their skills or their abilities in life. For example, deep down, they may believe that they will never be good at certain sports or at certain athletic skills. And in many cases, they can form these conclusions based on a few early attempts that either didn't go well or perhaps ended in a negative experience. Mindset by Carol S. Dweck is about how to help children unlock their full potential by developing a growth mindset. So rather than viewing their skills or their abilities as being fixed or largely set in stone, this book can help children discover that they have the ability to overcome initial difficulties or overcome setbacks and acquire entirely new skills and new abilities by investing time and effort. So rather than just thinking certain things are entirely off limits or that they'll never be good at a certain sport or activity, they can discover that they have the capacity to improve and grow so long as they're willing to put in the time and effort. Next up, we have Peak: Secrets from the New Science of Expertise by Anders Ericsson and Robert Poole. One of the most common myths about world-class athletes is that natural talent plays a significant role in their success. This belief maintains the idea that innate ability makes it much easier for certain people to do great things. In other words, they are gifted with an unfair advantage that others simply lack. Peak by Anders Ericsson and Robert Poole explains the real secret behind the success of expert performers. It explains the remarkable adaptability of the human brain and its capacity to completely rewire itself to unlock new capabilities. And most relevant of all, the book explains the best ways for kids to engage in practice in order to develop new skills faster and more effectively. Let's continue on to Every Moment Matters: How the World's Best Coaches Inspire Their Athletes and Build Championship Teams by John O'Sullivan. One of the most common mistakes that parents make when raising young athletes is rushing the process. They often want their kids to be training just like top pros are being trained today, rather than how those same top pros were training when they were still kids. In essence, these parents really fail to appreciate that what works for professional athletes in their prime doesn't necessarily translate over to young athletes that are still developing their love for sports. Every Moment Matters by John O'Sullivan explores how the best coaches inspire and develop their athletes. Now, it's primarily geared towards active coaches, of course, but parents can learn a lot by simply understanding how coaches think and why they use certain techniques and certain strategies when it comes to developing young athletes. Plus, the book covers a whole range of interesting tips and insights when it comes to things like fostering a love of sports, creating engaging practice sessions, and supporting the development of young athletes. Next up is Tiny Habits: The Small Changes That Change Everything by B.J. Fogg. The most successful athletes are those that invest considerable time and effort to improve their skills through focused practice. Now, unfortunately, many young and up-and-coming athletes struggle with big swings in their level of motivation or inspiration, and as a result, their practice time can be very inconsistent, or in some cases, even non-existent for long stretches of time. Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg is about how to build positive habits that support meaningful goals. The book can help young athletes resolve the inconsistency of their practice time by turning it into an automatic, routine part of their day. And in doing so, they can eliminate the need for external motivation and accelerate their rate of improvement at the same time. Next up, we have Range: Why Generalists Triumph in a Specialized World by David Epstein. Many parents believe that the key to athletic success is to specialize early. As a result, they seek to give their kids a head start in life by selecting a sport relatively early and then focusing all of their time and effort on mastering relevant skills and abilities. Now, for them, the idea of switching from one sport to the other, or even just changing from one role within a sport to another role within that same sport, is associated with wasting valuable time and effort. Range by David Epstein is about the many benefits of delaying specialization. It explains how diverse life experiences help children develop greater perseverance, improved creativity, and a higher skill ceiling. It's an absolute must-read for any parent that buys into the myth that early specialization is the key to success in life. Next up, we have Grit: The Power of Passion and Perseverance by Angela Duckworth. Some kids seem to make better use of their athletic abilities than others. They work harder, they put in extra effort, and they find ways to overcome difficult setbacks. This begs the question, why do some kids push themselves harder while others fall short of their full potential? Grit by Angela Duckworth explains how top performers are driven by a unique blend of passion and perseverance. Now, while the book isn't focused exclusively on athletics, much of the advice is directly applicable for raising young athletes. And furthermore, the author details exactly how parents can help their children develop grit at various stages or at various checkpoints throughout their life. Let's continue on to How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Adele Faber and Elaine Mazlish. Kids often have strong emotional reactions to difficult challenges or setbacks, whether in sports or any other area of life. And as parents, we're often tempted to respond by either denying their feelings or trying to explain logically why we believe they should feel differently based on our perspective on the situation. And unfortunately, this approach can cause them to double down on their emotions, which, as you might expect, typically makes the situation even worse. How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk by Adele Faber and Elaine Mazlish is about how to communicate more effectively with our kids. By following the advice in this book, we can better navigate difficult conversations and provide helpful support for our children. And this in turn can help them work through inevitable challenges and setbacks so they can continue forward on their athletic journey. Anyway, that's it for this list. If you're interested in more useful parenting advice, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future content.